Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hayakum Allah, Khwani. Welcome to the course Hands-on OT Security. This is my first lecture and my first course and my first group to introduce this course. I hope you like it. It's 2 days, hopefully not intensive. The goal of this course is not to make you expert or not to have in-depth knowledge in every area in OT security, because it's huge, and for 2 days this is impossible. So I'm just trying to lay out the foundations for hopefully every aspect of OT security, main concepts, main ideas, main topics, so you can build on later on if you want, and you will have a general knowledge of everything, and it's up to you where to go next, whether to take courses or to self-learning, or maybe I'll do more intensive hands-on courses in the future. So the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want. My name is Dr. Salman Hassawi. I'm the founder of ICS Arabia and ICS Rank. ICS Arabia is my podcast where, like I said, there's a security problem. What common threats that could happen to among us? What an attacker can do? It could act like a man in the middle and see what's going on if it's dropping, because it's unencrypted. Command tampering, you can intercept the command and change them. Okay, and then all of those, you can send a flood of data. You write a Python script, and it communicates with Modbus, and just you shut the PLC, because the PLC, like we said, it has a low, small resources, small memory, small CPU. It cannot handle, like any computer, it cannot handle those. I've been told by one of the asset owners that even if you copy a file in a small network that has a PLC, very sensitive network, it could create a dose, because the number of traffic that's running in the network from copying a file will affect some of the devices on this network. So you can imagine how delicate is this the ICS devices. How to protect against this? We will go deeply tomorrow about this, but just restrict the network access, because this is vulnerable protocol. Just don't let it exposed. And as we will see tomorrow, it's exposed to the internet, some of them, and you can talk to them in the internet, unfortunately. And put IDS. Decide who can communicate with this PLC that has a Modbus. This is one of the solutions, as we will go deeper tomorrow. Okay, now today we will dealing with a pcap file that captures a network that happened to Schneider Electric M221 PLC. This one, this is how it looks like. Okay, you can buy it from eBay if you want, or maybe you have it in Kosia, I'm not sure. So this is it. So we will examine the pcap file. This is lab today. If you don't finish it today, do it at home, because we have to cover. See, Mafia 90. So where did the 90 come from? Oh, now we know it's Schneider. So this is a vendor specific code that's only Schneider uses. Okay, that's what it means. 90. Okay, so we can make it as a, for example, prepare as a filter again. Prepare as a filter, select it. Now we're getting only the Schneider command that's writing. So here, this guy is issuing write to this port destination, and you can tell it's writing, communicating to the PLC via port. It's going to this destination. The target is 502. Why 502? I forgot to tell you, Modbus uses this port. The default port for Modbus is 502. We will see tomorrow on the Shodan. We can search for this Modbus protocol by filtering, by using this port. Okay? All right. So as we can see, this 90 is only for Schneider. This is because vendors, they can customize Modbus. They can customize their function codes. They can add